By the end of this tutorial, you would have learned how to make a punch needle art just like this. Your punch needle kit from Artini comes with all the materials you need. The materials include your yarn, different colors of yarn, your craft snip or cutter, the punch needle tool, a threader, a sewing needle, embroidery hoops, a printed fabric, and a template to guide you. So the first thing you want to do is to put your fabric in the embroidery hoop. To do that, you would unscrew your hoops. You should have two, the front and the back. The back of the hoop is the part without any screw, while the front has the screw. So you place your fabric on top of the hoop without a screw, and then you place the hoop that has a screw on top of it, press it in, adjust all the sides, and screw it back. You should also take your time to adjust the fabric, and this is just to make sure that your pattern is at the center. So you just adjust and stretch the parts that needs to be stretched until you are satisfied with how it looks. So next, we're going to thread our punch needle, and to do this we need our threader. We also need our punch needle. So you take your threader and your punch needle, and what you want to do is put your threader inside the eye of your punch needle from the back of the needle. So you are taking the threader inside from the back and putting it inside the needle itself. So the eye of the needle, then inside the needle until it comes out from the wooden top of your punch needle. And if you did that successfully, this is what your punch needle should look like right now. Then you take your yarn and put it inside the threader. Make sure that you place it in well, and then you drag your threader out. And by doing this, your yarn should come out of your punch needle from the back. It should look like this right now. And if you've done this, then you're good to go to the next step. Before we start punching, I would like to mention a few things. The first is to make sure that your thread is completely loose without any tension, because if it has any tension, it would not stay in the fabric. And the second is that the slope side of your punch needle must face the direction that you are punching in. Now let's start. To start punching, push your tool all the way into the fabric until the handle touches it. Carefully turn the hoop over and then pull through the small tail of yarn. You don't need to tie any knots. To make the stitch, gently pull the punch needle out of the fabric and move the tip 5 mm away, keeping the point very close to the surface of the fabric. Then push it through the fabric again, right up until the handle. You keep repeating this all the way, making sure that you're turning your hoop as you move along. Don't forget that the point of your punch needle is supposed to be facing the direction you're moving, as you're seeing me move as well. If at any point you notice your yarn coming out of your fabric, it's most likely that you have a place where there's tension, so you probably did not unravel your yarn well enough, and that place has a knot. For every time you have a knot, your yarn is going to pull out. So what you're going to do is to try to release your yarn, but if you cannot do that and you have to cut it off, once you cut it off, you just thread the remaining part and you go back again to punch, picking up from where you stop. While punching, make sure that you are following the pattern and you're not punching into the spaces that are not meant for the color of yarn you're currently using, so that your pattern can come out or your piece can come out exactly as it should. So now we're done with the first color, and while the punch needle is still pressed into the fabric, we're going to cut it off and just take out our needle. That's all. You don't need to make any knots with punch needle. You can decide to cut off all the excess thread at the back right now, or wait till the end like I do to cut it off, and then we continue the next color exactly as I explained the first. The same thing applies to the smaller spaces. All you have to do is to make sure that you're stitching within the line on the template, and even if 2 stitches are all it requires to fill up a space, then that's fine. You stitch them, fill up the space, and you move on. Yes, and now we're done with our stitch. We'll cut the last part off like we have been doing. Right now we're done, but I noticed that I had some spaces with my blue yarn, and I'm just going back in to fill them up. It's just so easy. We just do it like we've been doing before. Where I notice the spaces, I'm just going to be punching around there just to make sure that my final piece is full and there are no obvious spaces. It doesn't mean you wouldn't have any space, it just means that if you feel like you should add to any particular place, you can just go back in with the thread that you've used before and close that place up. Now all you have to do is cut off the excess yarn, making sure that everything behind your project is even. So the last thing you want to do now is to hide the excess fabric around your hoop. And to do that, we're just going to use our plastic sewing needle. We're going to thread it with any color of yarn, and you're not threading it completely, you're just going to put it in a little bit. What we just want to achieve with that is to pass a thread all around it, and once we pass the thread, you can see how I just put it inside a little, and we'll pass it all around the fabric. Let me just do that quickly. So now all you have to do is you take out the needle, you don't need that anymore, and then you drag the fabric. This is just to hide, like I said. I'm cutting the excess fabric, and I will just make a knot to secure that, and that way the fabric will not show up when we turn the front of our art piece. I'll make the knot, and that will be all. And after that is done, we have our art piece ready to be displayed. I hope you found this useful. Bye.